Hey everyone, Lisa Salvatore here. I wanted to talk to you quickly about this powerful and monumental transit that we have taking place as Pluto enters the sign of Aquarius on January 20th, right in alignment with the sun in Aquarius on January 20th. Moments before we have this alignment, we have what we call the Pluto cazimi, which is the conjunction of Pluto and the sun. And this will happen at 29 degrees and 59 minutes of Capricorn. Literally, right as Pluto is about to shift, right as the sun is about to shift into Aquarius, and then Pluto will soon follow shortly thereafter. And then again, the sun and Pluto are going to meet up at 0 degrees of Aquarius. This, my friends, is a big deal, okay? These are times, these are energies, these are transits that we will never see here again. And they are very indicative of our future, both collectively and personally. Now, I've gone ahead and done this video in two parts, and the first part is going to be how this Pluto transit can play out on the personal level. Pluto is not to be feared, although he does get a bad reputation sometimes. Pluto is the furthest planet from the sun. He has a 248-year orbit, so think about that at a deeper level. The furthest planet from the sun, our dwarf planet Pluto, is going to be hand in hand with the sun at first 29 degrees and 59 minutes of Capricorn, and then again when it gets to 0 degrees of Aquarius. So this is a big deal. Think about that. I mean, we're going to have this energy that we won't ever have again. It is personally quite powerful. It is powerful on all fronts. And even though he is the furthest planet from the sun, he vibrates very deeply, very spiritually at a very subterranean level. And the effects of a Pluto transit for any of us are long lasting. They span over a very long period of time. It moves very slowly. It is a slow excavation process, metaphorically speaking. It is a slow deconstruction process to reconstruct. And by where Aquarius falls in our chart, these are the areas of life that are going to get the Pluto facelift, the Pluto excavation. This is not bad, but it is powerful. Don't forget, you can always download your free birth chart right on my website, lisasalvatore.com, right on the homepage, so that you can see your placements, so that you can see where Capricorn falls and where Aquarius falls. Why Capricorn? Because Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. So that is going to show you which area of your life has undergone an excavation of sorts. And for some souls, it's obviously going to feel more intense than for others. So our cardinal signs have absolutely been getting the brunt of that last Pluto transit, this last leg of Pluto through Capricorn. So that's Capricorn, Aries, Libra, and Cancer. Now as Pluto moves into Aquarius, and in part 2, you're going to see the actual dates for this transit, but Pluto is going to remain in Aquarius until the year 2043, almost 2 decades. So now it's moving into the fixed signs domain, which is Aquarius especially, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo. So the transformations will feel the strongest for those that have points and placements in those signs. Again, if the astrology gets lost on you, don't worry about it. Just listen to the message. You've probably heard me refer to Pluto as the garbage man in astrology because he takes out the metaphorical trash, okay? That which isn't serving us, those behaviors, those patterns, those fears, those compulsions, those obsessions that we know are not serving us, okay, at a very deep level. It's not easy to look at that yucky stuff, right? But that's the purpose of a Pluto transit. That's the purpose of Pluto, to get down and dirty, to strip away everything and anything that is artificial, anything and everything that is holding us back from our truest empowerment, and to help us to ascend and to evolve. Again, think of Pluto as the cosmic excavator. Think of it like you buy a new house, and in your backyard, way back at the end of the property, there is this big boulder, okay? And it's kind of an eyesore, but to get out there and actually move that boulder would be a pain in the neck. You have to call an excavation company, they have to come out, they have to bulldoze, they have to do whatever they need to do to get rid of that rock. But you decide after some years that it is such an eyesore that it's time to deal with the rock. When that rock gets turned over, worms and bugs scurry everywhere and you're disgusted. There's been just a bunch of decay, a bunch of rubbish living under that rock. But once you lift that rock, it scurries away. And then that soil regenerates. That compost comes back. We seed something new in place of that immovable rock. Think of Pluto transits much like that. Pluto is the planet that rules over power, powerlessness, control, secrets, the taboo, the subconscious, the psychological, it's grief, it's loss, it's sex, it's death, it's rebirth. It's all of the things that we don't necessarily talk about openly and freely. It's also that which we prefer to keep buried. This is why Pluto is the planet that also rules over decay, decomposition, toxins being expelled, waste within the body. Pluto rules over the sign of Scorpio, all about death and rebirth on the metaphorical level. Now, because Pluto moves so slowly, case in point, Pluto is only going to move to 2 degrees of Aquarius in the year of 2024, and then he's going to recede back. And we're still going to get back to the 29th degree of Capricorn. But because Pluto moves so slowly, you have to understand that in order to get a direct hit of a Pluto transit, you have to be within a specific degree patch. So that being said, if you have any of your points or placements in Aquarius or the fixed signs, which are Taurus, Scorpio, and Leo as well, if they're in the later degrees, don't really worry about it right now. Actually, don't worry about it at all. If you're in the earlier degrees, think like 0 to 6, you're going to start to feel, or you may begin to feel the heat of the Pluto transit. Now, again, remember, the goal, the purpose of Pluto is to get us in touch with our truest, deepest, most personal power. It's about empowerment. And the way that we become empowered is by recognizing and transcending that which isn't serving us. So again, there is a dying off process that takes place with any and all Pluto transits, even the softer aspects. Transformation is the name of the game. Now, I've put some slides together that I wanted to share with you. Okay, so I put the chart up here for you. You can see the Sun and Pluto, both at 29 degrees and 59 minutes right here in Capricorn at the very last moments of Capricorn. This is known as the Pluto Cazimi, and this takes place around 8:44 in the morning Eastern Time on January 20th. Okay, this is where the Sun and the Pluto are going to align. They're going to have their conjunction or their Cazimi moment. Then on January 20th, same day, 9:07 a.m., the Sun is going to enter Aquarius first. And then Pluto enters Aquarius not long after at 7:56 p.m. Eastern Time. And here we see the Sun and Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So this is where we begin to co-create our new reality, both collectively and personally. The main principle of Pluto, remember, is transformation. This is life, this is death, and this is rebirth on the metaphorical levels. And this can certainly feel more personal for certain souls, especially any and all Aquarius placements, okay? And the fixed placements, which are Taurus, Scorpio, and Leo as well. And especially if any of your points and placements fall between 0 and 2 degrees, you will be the most affected right out the gate. Most affected does not mean bad. It just means powerful. You will feel it. And depending upon what Pluto is transiting, you're going to feel it that much more. So if Pluto is transiting your Sun, your Moon, your rising sign, your Mars, your Venus, you're really going to feel it. Your North Node. This metaphorical dying off process begins to bring up something better for you, something more constructive and something more in alignment with your truth, with who you truly are, with where you're headed. Remember, Aquarius, the sign that Pluto is going to be occupying, is all about the future. It's also about humanity and the collective. Now, you're going to want to follow your rising sign so that you can understand the areas of life that Pluto is going to likely excavate, where you can feel these changes, where you will experience the most transformation internally and or externally, emotionally and or physically. Again, it's different for everybody. And as Pluto also rules over fear, I do not want you to fear any of this. So you can see that if you're Aries rising, it's your 11th house. If you're a Taurus rising, it's your 10th house. Gemini 9th, Cancer 8th, Leo 7th, Virgo 6th, Libra 5th, Scorpio 4th. Also, let's not forget that Pluto rules Scorpio. So Scorpio risings, you're going to feel the intensity of this also as well. Sagittarius, it's the 3rd house, Capricorn the 2nd. I've highlighted Aquarius as it will be your 1st house, which is your physicality, you, it's who you are in the world, your expression, and Pisces the 12th. Don't worry, you can go right ahead and screenshot this next portion. I've given you a quick guide to the houses in astrology, okay? The houses is where the energy will play out. Okay, so some tips to remember when looking at your chart to make this a little easier to understand is that the planets, which in this case we're talking about Pluto, so the planet Pluto is going to show you what is happening, what type of energy is expressed, and we just went over all of what Pluto represents. The sign that the planet is in is going to tell you how that energy will be expressed. So that is Aquarius, right? So it's going to be expressed with regards for the future. It's going to be expressed with the collective consciousness in mind. It's going to be expressed having to do with technology, science, air travel, space travel. Groups and networks are friendships. And then the house will tell you where this energy will play out, okay? Where it will be expressed. And then you can go ahead and screenshot these, but I go through all of the houses for you. So we've got houses 1 through 3 right here. And then we have houses 4 through 6 right here, houses 7 through 9, and houses 10 through 12. And again, the Aquarius themes are where we can expect to experience these radical transformations over the next 2 decades while Pluto's in Aquarius. And that would be technology, the internet, the human collective, air travel, space travel, robotics, animatronics, astrology falls into the sign of Aquarius, extraterrestrial or interdimensional, as I like to say, social groups, and humanitarian endeavors, just to name a few. Okay, and you can go to part 2 for more on the collective transit of Pluto through Aquarius. I hope that this was helpful.